Hello everyone, I hope this video finds you well, or as well as can be. Today I'd like to share 5 vocalises with you in hopes that they can help keep you singing during this time and maybe also even grow your technique a bit. So this first exercise I like to use to make sure that all of my vowels are blending into each other, that no vowel sort of pops out of my stream of sound. For this vocalise, we use our 5 vowels found in the English language over the following pattern. Z, A, O. So, the real technical challenge with this exercise is that we want to make sure that the height of the E vowel continues through the 4 vowels that follow it. What happens with many singers when they're studying singing is that when they open to a more open vowel such as we get this drop in the resonance and we lose that height we had in the E. So rather than a drop in the resonance going from E, we hear this little bit of a fall in my sound. We want to see if we can keep the height of the E vowel through E, A, O, U. And then that way we have this continuous even resonance throughout the vowels that we're singing. So you can work this through your range, half step by half step. Z, A, O, Z, A, O, Z, A, O, Z, A, O, and so on. So this next exercise I like to use to help me find a bit extra space and a feeling of release when I'm singing into my high voice. What it is a 9-note scale. Using the vowels O and A. It goes like this. So this exercise is really helpful in me finding this feeling of release, a bit more space as I'm ascending into the higher part of my range. The O vowel, when we truly find a well-shaped O, one with depth to it and clarity, helps us to create a bit more feeling of stretch in our vocal tract, which makes it easier to sing high. And then when we're going to A, all we're doing is releasing the lips so that we go from O to A, but we're able to keep all that feeling of stretch, release, and space that we found on the O vowel. So again, we work this through our range, half step by half step. With this exercise, try to work it through your comfortable range, and when you reach that point where it's no longer quite comfortable to do, try to focus on finding a bit more feeling of stretch and space and see if you can carry it a half step, a whole step farther in either direction of your range. And that way over time we start to expand it. So if that exercise feels doable for you, I have another one that's a bit of a continuation, the same goals of finding release in space, but now over a larger part of the range. So again, helping to just develop our range and also making it a bit more comfortable to sing at the same time. The pattern for this one's a little different. So it's a scale up with an arpeggio down, and it sounds like this. And work it up. take it where what is comfortable for you, and then see if you can carry it just a little bit further. In order to carry it a little bit further and push our boundaries, focus on this idea of a bit extra space, a bit more raising the soft palate, a feeling of open throat. If you study with a voice teacher, ask them about these things. They'll help you find it in your own body so that you know what these concepts feel like. And also make sure that you're always breathing low in your body and you have your low support muscles always moving your breath and supporting your singing. And if that doesn't quite make sense, you can send me an email or talk to your teacher about it. So the next exercise I like to use is to help us find a bit more ease in producing our high notes and to help us take off any sort of extra weight we might be carrying into our high range. And we do this exercise on the word Alleluia. It's an arpeggio with some staccati on top. And the staccati on top are what help us take off any sort of extra weight or thickness in our sound that we're carrying up in our range. And the exercise sounds like this. Alleluia. These little staccati on the help us to, again, just remove any sort of heaviness we're producing so that we're getting our most efficient sound. What's really important is that you make sure the impulse for the staccati are coming from your low support muscles rather than any sort of other bad tensions we don't want when we're singing, such as shoulders crunching up, neck coming forward, trying to squeeze it out. Keep your posture, keep your release, your space, and make sure or work towards having your low support create the staccati. And again, work this through your range. If it's harder to start in the part or in the key that I'm starting in, you can always start lower and find what's comfortable for you and go from there. Alleluia. 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 And so on. The last exercise I like to do is another arpeggio exercise where I go between singing loud and soft right back to back. And I like to use this exercise particularly to check in that I am always using my low support and breath when I'm singing, whether I'm singing loud or soft. So the exercise goes like this. Again, working that up and down in your range. The point of this one being whether I was singing loud or soft, or at the same time high or low in my range, I always felt my low support moving underneath me, making sure that I was supported and on my breath while I was singing these arpeggios. So these are 5 exercises I like to do. They were really helpful in developing my voice when I was in undergrad, graduate school, and there's still exercises I do today to keep healthy when I'm on the road. So I hope you like them. I hope they help keep you singing and maybe even learn a little bit about voice technique during this time. Be well, take care of yourself.